Hi, it's Igor again. You know, we've been getting a lot of questions about the Money in Your Mind training. I want to take a few minutes to be able to answer them for you. So that's what I'd like to do on this video. Now, I realize that you've probably seen or heard of a lot of products that promise to help you get rich. And if you're like most people, you've probably been disappointed by most of them, maybe even all of them. Now I have to tell you, I have been there. I put this program together because I felt exactly the same way. My own path to financial freedom included some steps that I had never seen covered at all in a single one of these programs before. As I started to do research on what other people had done to become rich, I realized that there were real gaps in the available information. In other words, the other wealth and money courses. So that's why I carefully designed both the content and the special learning processes to fill those gaps. Now rest assured, I'll be telling you a lot more about what's in the program in other videos. This one is just going to focus on answering your questions. So let's dive straight in. The first question is one I totally expect and that you have absolutely every right to ask. Does it work? The simple answer is yes, it does. Let me give you the crash course to riches. Your consistent actions over time will create whatever levels of wealth you have. There's enough rags to riches stories to prove that. Now, the problem is, number one, people don't know what those actions should be. Or number two, if they do know what the actions are, they somehow don't find themselves being able to do them. Maybe they're procrastinating or something else blocks their way. Or even if they know what to do and are willing to do it, somehow they keep missing the opportunity to do it at the right time. I call this dilemma the wealth learning triangle, which means there are things that your conscious mind must be able to do, which is spot opportunities and have the insights to be able to plan and strategize what you're supposed to be doing. Number two, you need your inner conscious mind, your unconscious mind, to be on your side too, to make sure that you're allowed to do these things. You have the freedom and the motivation to get the results. And finally, you got to know what the behaviors are. You got to know what to do. If you get those three things in place, well then your path to riches is virtually guaranteed. If you're missing any element in that formula, or if there's a kink, well, that's when the troubles can start. Now the good news is, in this program I cover all three bases, and I cover them in many different ways to make sure that all kinds of different people and learning styles can really get this. Now the next question is interesting and is kind of related to this. The question is, even if this program does work, people are wondering, can I do this? Now once again, the simple answer is yes. There are no special requirements for being wealthy. All that's required is that you consistently engage in certain actions over time. Now rest assured, those actions are actually very simple. You don't have to do brain surgery or heart surgery. You don't have to go and save the world. And most of the actions are literally as simple as sitting down at regular meal times to have your breakfast, lunch, and your dinner. Being wealthy requires no special IQ, no special talent. All it requires is that you see the world in a slightly different way to everyone else, that you have a slightly different understanding of what money is and how it works, and that you consistently engage in certain behaviors that are as simple as brushing your teeth in the morning or getting dressed before you go to work. If you can do these behaviors consistently over time, well, wealth is virtually assured at that point. Think of it this way. 2,000, 5,000 years ago, when no one knew about personal hygiene, they'd wonder about how people can have healthy teeth all the way into their 30s. Of course, with modern insight, we understand about dental hygiene. We know that brushing your teeth regularly really does keep them in good shape. Well, the wealth problem works in very similar ways. Once you switch your attitude, once you understand what it is you're trying to achieve, well, then you'll quickly see that all the things that people normally do to try and get wealthy actually prevent them from doing so. So, I guess if you're smart enough to brush your teeth, to shower in the morning, and get dressed before you go to work, and if you're consistent enough to be able to have 3 square meals, then you have what it takes to become rich. Now this leads us to another very reasonable question. Don't you need to have money to make money? And once again, this sounds very reasonable. And from the perspective of most people that don't have money, that is exactly what the rich people are doing. They have huge amounts of cash to make more huge amounts of cash. But that's really not how it works. It's actually an illusion. There are many people who have a huge amount of cash and lose it all. If you want to have a shock, just look up the statistics on how many lottery winners have lost every single penny within a couple of years of winning it. Having lots of money does not mean you'll keep lots of money or make even more money. And the reverse is also true. There are more than enough rags to riches stories, people who grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, that came to America or Britain or somewhere in Europe, some nation where opportunities existed. And when they arrived, they had nothing but their shirt on their backs. And they made something of themselves. The fact is, opportunities exist everywhere. I guarantee you, right now, you are being pursued by an opportunity to make $1 million. And the only problem is that your mind has a filter in place that literally makes you blind to it. You cannot see it. For some people, that filter is so dense that even if you pointed out to them and spelled out step by step how this opportunity can be maximized to make $1 million, they'll look at you blankly and go, no way, it can't be that easy. And then they'll go right back to what they were doing before. So do you need to have money to make money? No. You need to have the right mindset. You need to have the right perceptions. And you need to know the right actions. And combined together, that is an irresistible plan for success. Here's another one. How can I know if this program is right for me? Now, this is a really good question. Some people might be thinking, well, I don't really want to be rich. I just want to be well off. I just want to stop worrying about money. And the good news is you don't have to want to be rich in order for the program to work for you. In fact, as you'll discover, for many people, getting rich becomes an accidental side benefit to the real work, which is to become financially free. So, if you want to know whether this program is right for you, you just have to ask yourself 2 simple questions. Number 1, right now in your life, are you financially free? Could you never work another day in your life again and still be taken care of, and still have the means to take care of your family too? Number 2, do you want to be financially free? It's simple. This is not a rocket science test. If you're not financially free right now, and you would like to be financially free, then this program can definitely map out the routes to get there for you. Of course, if you already are financially free, and you don't aspire to anything more than that, then good luck to you. You're in a great place. And if you're not financially free, but don't even care about it, then once again, I'm not going to waste your time. But if you look at your life, and there are stresses, worries, concerns, and so on about money, and you want to change that, you want to be able to wake up in the morning and not have to think about how you'll pay for your rent, your gas, your electricity, your children's education, and so on, then this program is definitely for you. Then we have another interesting question, and people usually apologize when they ask this question. But once again, this is a very legitimate question. The question is, what does Igor know about making money? Now, if you've been wondering that, then I take my hat off to you, because that is absolutely the right question to be asking. And the answer is very simple. I co-own and run a multi-million-dollar training company. It's an international training organization that has students in every single continent in the world. What's more, we built this company from literally nothing in just a few very short years, using the principles that we talk about in the Money in Your Mind program. Both my business partner and I became financially free within 12 months of starting the business. And here's another thing you should know. We didn't make our money by trying to sell people get-rich-quick schemes or how to make $1 million schemes. I made it by offering genuine value to people in a way that they appreciated and wanted more. In fact, I made it using the key strategies and principles that we discuss in the Money in Your Mind program. Now, all this talk about multi-million-dollar companies and so on makes people want to know, does this program involve a lot of maths? Will I have to have complex formulas? Now, I understand, many people tell me that they're not very good at maths. Let me assure you that no real math skills are involved. All that you need to be able to do is, can you add a few numbers? And can you subtract a few numbers? And by the way, you don't even have to do it in your head or even on a piece of paper. The only thing you've got to be able to do is punch some numbers into a calculator and then press the equal sign. If you can operate a calculator and add and subtract a few simple numbers, then you have more than enough math skills to become rich. Then there's this classic question. Is this just a bunch of positive thinking? Well, the answer is no, it isn't. Of course, positive thinking is a wonderful thing and can do tremendous good. The problem with positive thinking is, if you're positively thinking in the wrong direction, it still doesn't get you anywhere. Think of it this way. Let's say you're lost in a big, sprawling metropolis of a city. All the positive thinking in the world won't get you home. What will get you home is a map and maybe a friendly stranger to show you the route from where you are to where you need to be. Then, once you have your map and you have your route, the next thing to do is to start walking home. Becoming rich or even financially free is much the same story. You need a map, you need to see where you're at and where do you want to be. You need somehow of connecting those two dots, and then you start taking actions that consistently get you from A to B. If you don't know where you are, if you don't know where you want to go, and if you don't know what streets connect one to the other and which streets are just blind alleys that will lead you astray, then all the positive thinking in the world cannot possibly make you rich. Here's what the Money in Your Mind does for you. Number one, it changes your blueprint so that your unconscious mind allows you to be able to perceive opportunities and engage in the simple and easy behaviors that are proven to make people rich. Next, you need to change your perceptions. You've got to understand money differently and see the opportunities that are all around you constantly, but that your brain has shut off from. So you can think of it like taking the blinders off. Positive thinking can help to some extent here, but even then, all the positive thinking in the world won't let you see if you're blindfolded. What will let you see is to take the blindfold off and to open your eyes and start looking. That's another thing that the Money in Your Mind program will do for you. Finally,